Are VA C&P exams rigged against me and you veterans? If you've ever walked out of an exam, which I'm sure if you're going to be listening to this, watching this live, or later on down the road, I am sure that you guys and gals who have served and our veterans have felt like the doctor did not listen. I know I have. Or your symptoms got downplayed. This episode is for you, right? I'm going to unpack how these exams really work. I'm going to show you a trend that is going on and that is appearing within rating decision letters, which is garbage, and what biases may exist. And most importantly, how you veterans can protect yourself. Okay. So, what is a C&P exam and why does it matter? Okay. I don't want to insult your intelligence, but let's break down what a compensation and pension exam actually is. The compensation and pension exam is what the Department of Veterans Affairs uses to evaluate the severity and the connection of your condition. It's not treatment, it's evaluation. That is key. You're not going there to get treated, but it is evaluation, and they are there to fill out a disability benefits questionnaire. These exams decide how much you're compensated based off the severity of whatever condition you're filing for, or more importantly, if your claim is approved or denied. But here's where it gets messy, veterans. Many of these exams aren't even done by VA doctors anymore. They're outsourced to contractors like LHI, VES, or QTC. Okay, so you submit a claim. Let's get this right. It goes to the VA. You're not given all the help that you need. You're not giving the puzzle pieces to complete the puzzle. Okay. It goes to a VA rater. Okay. Or maybe you walk into a VSO's office. You don't get the help that you need. Then it goes to a rater. Who does the rater work for? The VA. Then they subcontract out to LHI, VES, or QTC. Who do those examiners work for? The VA. Okay. And guess what? Those contractors get paid by who? The VA, not you, the veteran. That creates what many call a conflict of interest. And it is. Let me show you. I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to show you a reoccurring theme that is going on, that is bogus, that is not even right. But the VA is throwing in letters right now towards veterans. I've seen some of these during denials as well too, which is just straight garbage. So the VA is coming and saying that veterans are getting outside DBQs, okay, or opinions, which is within your right as long as it's honest, integral, ethical. Sometimes you get denied. How else are you going to prove your claim? How else are you going to prove service connection? There are certain conditions that can be done via HIPAA compliant telehealth, mental health, sleep issues, migraine, headaches, chronic fatigue syndrome, irritable bowel syndrome, and the list goes on. Okay. Some things that are not musculoskeletal or require range of motion or in person examination, you have the right as a veteran to get the help that you need as long as all of the evidence is looked at. Okay. But look at this right here. This claim right here says the examiner, if you're looking at my screen, is 300 plus miles away. If you look at the top of my screen, okay, 300 plus miles away. I'm pointing it out right here. Examiners 300 plus miles away, conducted on August 20th, 25. Okay. What does it matter that the doctor's 300 plus miles away, especially for the claim that we are doing? Chronic fatigue syndrome, which is a sleep issue, as long as the doctor has the compiling evidence, has the blood work, has the lab work, has all of that stuff. What does that matter? What does it matter at all? So we are doing chronic fatigue syndrome secondary to mood disorder here. What does it matter that the doctor's 300 plus miles away? The veteran is trying to get the help that they need, but the VA is throwing in this bogus verbiage here that this doctor is 300 plus miles away. The big thing is Is the doctor looking at all the evidence? Are they writing a factual, correct, honest, integral DBQ? If they are, you have every right to see the doctor. You have every right to see them, whether they're 3 or 4 or 500 miles away. That does not matter at all. But the VA is taking that and incriminating the veteran on that verbiage, and that's not right towards the veteran. There's no code of federal regulations that says the doctor has to be within 50 miles or 100 miles. Heck, the VA even uses people from way outside of a certain mile radius to conduct examinations on you guys, on us. They do that as well too. There are certain claims that can be done via HIPAA video compliancy, and as long as you have the right evidence and you're showing that to them, there you go. You have your case. And when you get denied, how else are you going to prove service connection with your claim? You're going to have a nexus letter or a DBQ, and you want to make sure that you go to the right one. Here's the reality: the right doctor. Your primary care doctor may not be the right doctor to write that nexus letter or that DBQ, and that's okay. You don't want to throw up a crappy nexus letter and a DBQ, because guess what? You will end up getting denied. You will. Even whenever you're submitting a proper nexus letter and DBQ, what I just showed you, they throw out stuff like the doctor's 300 plus miles away. What does it matter for a sleep condition where all the evidence is being proved? You've got the lab results ruling out any underlying conditions. You've got a sleep study showing that the veteran has sleep apnea and that treatment is not working, and that their mood and mental health and side effects of medications are a ripple effect to and carrying over to daytime fatigue, impacting them occupationally and socially. So what does it matter if all that stuff is proven? The VA doctor that's contracted, or if it's even a doctor, is going to be looking at all that evidence as well too. They're actually looking at all the evidence that they can. The VA just doesn't want to say it to deny you. They don't want to give it to you if they don't need to give it to you. That's the real reality behind all this. So are VA C&P exams rigged against veterans? Yes, they are. They are. Most veterans are not coached on going into their compensation and pension exams. We're throwing up our claims ourselves. We're not getting the proper help. We're walking to our local county jurisdictions like a bunch of lamb. We're walking right in there. We're filing up our claim. We're getting an appointment set. We're throwing up claims that most veterans are not even being asked if they have the right evidence. Many veterans are not even throwing up personal statements, lay statements, proper statements and stuff. We're not getting the proper help that we need. And that's why so many veterans are underrated, lowly rated, don't have a rating. That's why many of your Vietnam, Gulf War veterans do not have a rating, because they are not getting the proper help that they need. So are VA C&P exams rigged? Absolutely. When you just see verbiage that I just showed you of 300 plus miles away, the veteran didn't say that. The doctor that wrote the nexus letter on behalf for that veteran didn't say that. The VA said that. So is that rigged? You tell me. Okay. Is that biased? I would say so. Is that biased towards for the veteran or for the VA? That's for the Department of Veterans Affairs. Okay. How do you protect yourself against that? Well, listen, if that ends up happening, then what you end up doing is you end up higher level reviewing it and calling out that junk. You look it up in the 38 Code of Federal Regulations, and you get a senior level adjudicator on the line and you say, listen, this is what happened to me and this is not fair to me. Sometimes we have to go outside. There are veterans that reach out to us all the time because the doctors that we have are going to make sure that they can write a proper and very good, strong nexus letter or fill out a DBQ sometimes, if need be, to put you in the best position to win your claim. Why would we not? Why would the veteran want any different? Explain that to me. That is the problem that we have going on. And I'm sorry that happened to you, but this is the reality of what's going on. So you tell me who's getting the help. And let me ask you this, veterans: are you getting the help while you're on active duty? Are you getting it while you're in? No, because we raised our right hand. You're sending us to war. You're sending us to combat. We are raising our right hands to serve, whether we go to combat or not. And we're putting our life on the line when we sign that contract. Okay. But yet we don't even get the whole playing deck on how to get our benefits. So tell me what's rigged. You tell me what's rigged, okay? It's garbage. We don't get the proper help that we need, period. I know I didn't get the proper help. I could tell you right now, I'm not rated for the conditions that I should be rated for. I'm not at all. And you know why? You know why I'm not? Because I never got the help that I need. I saw a VSO at Fort Stewart. He wrote down my conditions. He said, memorize everything that you've got going on, write it down on a piece of paper, and then he handed it to me. I signed it. He went back to his computer. I never saw him again. And then later on, I ended up with my rating. What kind of help is that? I didn't do a personal statement. I didn't even file for half the conditions that I knew. It wasn't even explained to me. The guy just gave me a piece of paper and said, here you go. That was my experience upon my transition back into civilian life. That's what I did. But yet, several deployments, friends not here. I got mortar rounds, small arms fire, everything that I personally went through. I'm telling you guys, veterans, I'm being transparent with you and vulnerable. Yet, I don't get the help that I need. That's the help that I got. I'm just letting you guys know. I'm sure it's the same thing for you guys, and it's garbage. It's garbage. And now we're hearing Senate rulings and hearings and all this other junk about coming up against veterans benefits. You know what? Quit giving free handouts to people that don't even belong here. Quit giving free handouts to people that don't even deserve it. Yet you want to come up against VA benefits for veterans that have served and risked their life and talk about it's easy. It's easy, really. We really get the help. You tell me anybody listening or you come through where the cheat codes were given for us to get VA disability benefits. And secondly, if you don't know what you're doing, you get, a lot of times you can be proposed a reduction. Listen, this channel and you guys wouldn't even be watching if it was clear cut and dry what we were to do. So who doesn't want to get benefits? What senator, what president, what person does not want to get the benefits that they deserve? Who in their right mind don't want to get educational benefits for your family, property taxes off for your home if you can get it? Who don't want to do that? You know, it's garbage. In Rose City, you're right. Sad thing is that you have to play their game when you truly have issues going on. Exactly. It's a game. It's a game. You got to fight for that. It's sorry. It's horrible. It's pathetic. If you guys need help, reach out to us. We're going to be here. We're going to go. We're going to continue to argue and advocate for veterans all day long, every day. You meet me, I'm going to fight with you. I'm going to do everything that I can. We're helping out a slew of veterans, right? And we're going to continue to do so honestly, integrally, and ethically. Why? Because you deserve the benefits that you get. So are they rigged or just rushed? Okay, let's talk about this $1 million question. Are these exams actually rigged? Most examiners aren't. I wouldn't say they're necessarily out to hurt veterans, but the system itself is flawed. What is the VA doing? They're adhering to the budget, not necessarily the benefits for the veterans. Here's the reality and the truth. Some doctors have limited time, 20 minutes for a 10-year condition, or 20, or 30, or 40, or 50-year condition that maybe you sucked up and dealt with since Vietnam. Okay. But yet there's limited time to review your claim and have a C&P exam done. Some examiners don't even read your full file before seeing you. They don't do it. Others use generic checkboxes that don't even capture your daily pain or your struggles. That's right. You heard me. Generic checkboxes. The result, veterans walk away feeling dismissed. What the heck did I even serve for? Like their story never even got told. Okay. I can tell you right now, I don't even get the proper primary care health that I need within the VA system, and it's rushed. I don't even get that. I don't even get that. I get that. There's a lot of veterans, but heck, our government can't even get their heads out their butts, and we're shut down right now, you know? And let's be real. When you've lived with chronic pain, when you've lived with PTSD, when you've lived with sleep issues for years, that kind of dismissal cuts deep and you feel abandoned, you feel cut off, and you feel like, dang, I'm not even getting the help that I do need, okay? So let's talk about contractor versus VA employed examiners. Okay. Let's break down this difference between the VA employed examiners and contractor examiners. VA employed examiners, usually inside a VA facility, often have access to your full medical file. But here's the reality of it, they're overloaded. Contracted examiners through LHI, VES, QTC, etc., they work for private companies. Their job is to complete as many exams as possible. Why? So they get paid, so they get that money. The more exams that they complete, the more money that they get. It all boils down to what? Money. The same thing that they're not trying to give the veteran is money. That's what it boils down to complete as many exams as possible. Anybody else, you tell me different. And guess what? They're under pressure to move fast. Why are they under pressure to move fast? Right? To make more money. Hello. That's where bias can creep in. Some vets say contracted examiners look for ways to minimize symptoms because their reports go directly back to VA adjudicators who are focused on what? Budget, cost control. That doesn't mean every examiner is crooked, but it means you have to be prepared. And a lot of times, that examiner, that contracted examiner, is not even looking at the full evidence because the adjudicator rating your claim, who works for who? The VA, didn't even give them all the evidence. So, how do you protect yourself during a C&P exam? Okay, let's talk strategy because we don't just complain here, right? I'm going to give you the cheat codes. We equip. I want to equip you. How do you protect yourself? Know your claim before you go. The answer is not, I don't know. You need to know your claim before you go. Review your conditions, review your symptoms. How do they impact your daily life, occupationally, socially, frequency, severity, duration? Get the help that you need. Don't fight this stuff alone if you don't know what you're doing. Because if you file it and you go up against it and you don't know what you're doing, but you think you know what you're doing, I'm telling you, you're going to be creating a high mountain to climb. Okay. Be honest. Do not be heroic. Do not lie. Do not minimize. Don't downplay your pain just to sound tough. It's not the time for that. Bring your spouse, bring your caregiver, bring somebody that knows your history truly and honestly. They can provide witness to daily challenges that you deal with and how you're impacted occupationally and socially. Document everything. Write down dates, time, examiner, name, what was said, and how long, whatever condition it is, PTSD, headaches, migraines, chronic pain, it lasted. After the exam, guess what? Request a copy of your compensation and pension results through va.gov or Freedom of Information Act request. And most importantly, stay calm, stay professional. Remember, your testimony, you know it the best. You are your best advocate. Your testimony matters more when you stay composed. Okay. Very, very, very important. So if you've ever felt burned by a C&P examiner, you are not alone. Drop a comment here, share your story. Tag another veteran, share this out, like this, subscribe, comment, share this with someone who needs to hear this truth as well too. Follow us. We're going to keep these videos coming, but you do not want to give up. That is the most important thing, okay? Very, very important. Be prepared. Know the DBQ. Review the disability benefits questionnaire for the specific condition you're filing for. It shows exactly what the examiner must address. Stay calm and professional. Request a copy of the exam. Challenge bad exams. If the exam was inaccurate, you can submit a statement in support of claim on a VA Form 21-4138 and request a new exam. Include any unbiased private medical evidence that supports your position. And remember, you're not powerless. You just have to know how to fight smart. Okay. At the end of the day, this isn't just about paperwork or percentages. This is about you, your service, your sacrifice, and your right to be treated with respect. The compensation and pension exam might be one part of the process, but it does not define your worth as a veteran. It's just a step. It can be argued against as well too. One you can navigate with preparation, persistence, and patience. The 3 Ps: preparation, persistence, and patience. Don't give up after one bad experience. Don't accept a rating that doesn't reflect your reality. Appeal it, build your evidence, keep fighting because you've earned every single bit of it. Okay. If this episode helped you to understand the truth about C&P exams and the fact that, yes, they are rigged, the VA is adhering to budget. That is their main goal, not exactly the veterans' welfare or best welfare, best thing in mind. It's not. Do me a favor, share this out with another veteran who needs to hear it. subscribe, leave a review, and stay tuned for more talk about VA claims, benefits, and life after service. Okay. Until next time, stay strong, stay informed, and as always, keep serving even after the uniform. You deserve it. Okay. Very, very, very important to do that. Real quick question. Should I do a hearing and add more evidence? Well, it just depends on what you're doing. If you want to reach out to us, you can reach out to us. Um, info at veteransclaimservice.com. We'll look at your claim and see what we can do as well. Jason, yes, the Washington Post is the biggest against the veterans. Read the article, so gross. And Lieutenant Gabe, also a traitor against veterans. Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. I agree with you guys. Yep, we will be discussing that Washington Post article and we'll be going up against it. Absolutely, 100%. So, thank you guys. Thank you for your service. Stay in the fight. Let's keep going. Do not give up, right? And keep going. Okay. Till next time, I'm out.